Hi everybody, welcome to Rainbow Acrylics. My name's Claire. I've done lots of heart paintings in the past, lots of Dutch pour blown out hearts. It's occurred to me I have never done one in reds, which is just crazy. So I'm going to do a heart filled with red blooms, reds with a bit of dark purple, gold and orange, so really rich colours, but a red heart in red blooms. So I'm really excited to try this, see what happens. Let me show you the colours. So here are the colours. Just look how rich and deep these are. They are Montmartre Gold, Pebeo Studio Acrylics Iridescent Orange, Winsor & Newton Galleria Acrylic Alizarin Crimson, and then another Amsterdam, which is Permanent Blue Violet. So I'm going to use these for the design. They're all mixed to my Dutch pour consistency, so they're really quite nice and fluid, nice and runny. And I've mixed them with this, which is floetrol. So I'll include the recipe for this mixture in the description. For the base, I have actually mixed white, Montmartre white, with this, which is Owatrol. Now, I normally just use floetrol for everything, but I've got some Owatrol left over, which I just want to use up. So that's why I'm using Owatrol for this pour. And then in this little pot here, I've got my cell activator, which is mixed with Australian floetrol. So I'll include all three recipes in the description. The canvas I'm using is a 50 by 60 rectangular canvas. There's some pencil markings on here, just ignore that. That was from when I did my wave painting. Right, so I've got my Dutch pour white mixed up here in this bottle. So I'm just going to pour some of this on, and then I'm going to blow this out. Last time I did a white base, I put so much paint on, I ended up scraping it from the edges. I put too much on, so I'm going to try less, and then I can add more this time. So that was a spot on amount of white paint on there. Once I've covered all the canvas with the blow dryer, what I then do is just blow around a little bit more and see if the paint moves. If it's moving a lot, I've still got too much paint on the canvas, so I'll then blow it over the edge. But if it's not really moving too much, I'm happy with that amount. I don't want too much base colour on here. So I'm just bursting the air bubbles. There is always fluff in the air. You are always, I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but always just seem to, as soon as the paint's down, it just seems to attract little bits of, I don't know, whatever's in the air. I'm sure it does with any colour, it's just that on the white you really notice it. Right, so the most difficult bit of this painting is going to be to get the outline of the heart. So what I did, I got a piece of paper, I folded it in half, and then I drew a heart shape. So when I open it up, it looks like a heart. But then what I did was cut just inside, and it left me with this, this outline, which is very curly. So what I'm going to do is just place this, if I can, or down onto my canvas, and this is going to be my template. The reason I'm not putting the full heart down is because it will just lift up too much paint when I take it up again. So I'm just going to put this down. So this is just going to, by doing this, I'm just checking that the heart's in the right place. It's just going to give me a guide. So I want to check that these bits, these bits at the edges are about the same size, the same depth, and also here. So that needs to go up slightly more there. And I want to check that this is in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just by eye, I want to check that it's in the right place. So what I did with the Dutch pour bloom wave painting that I did recently was I used loads of push pins, just these little tiny push pins, oops, and I use these just to outline the shape. So I'm going to just put lots of little push pins down just to give me a rough guide, oops, to the outline of the heart. Right, so that's outlining the heart, and then I'm going to lift this paper heart up. It's going to lift some of the paint up with it, but that's okay because I've got more, I can add more. Right, let's get that right out of the way. So I'm left with my heart shape. So I'm just going to add just a little bit more paint now. Or in fact, I'll see if dabbing it works, just to cover up where the paper was. Well, actually, I've got drips at the bottom, so what I could do is just dab some of these drips on just to fill the gap, just to save on some paint. That's my heart template. So now I'm going to add all the little puddles of paint on. So I will be doing them just within this line so that I know that when I blow them out, they can then meet this line. So just deciding on the order of my colours, I want to separate the two metallics, the orange and the gold. I quite like the red. What I quite like doing is alternating the colours with the different blooms. So I think what I'm going to do, in fact, shall I just keep alternating all four? Yes, I think that's what I will do. So there will be 4 different patterns. Right, let's put some colour down. So for all these spots, I'm going to do this order. So orange, purple, gold, then red. And then the next lot of petals, the next lot of flowers, I think I'm just going to alternate. I'm going to change the position of the red and the purple. So I'm going to have purple on top. Should I do that? Yeah. I think I'm just going to fill in now the rest of the spaces. So I'd rather have more red than purple. So let's just have the purple on the bottom of all these remaining blooms. That's all my puddles down. So now I'm just going to add a little spot of the cell activator in the centre. I'm going to do one at a time, put the cell activator down and then blow the bloom out. Wow, the colours. Really disappointed with this because the colour has sunk, the colour is gone. When I first blew out the blooms, I just got this wonderful, wonderful burst of colour. But then as the bloom kind of sinks back towards the centre, it just seems to have all sunk. So the effect is absolutely beautiful, really pretty lacing, but it's not what I wanted. I wanted bright red, really nice, bright, bold heart. So I'm disappointed at the moment. I'm going to just spend a bit of time now blowing around because I need to fill in these gaps. There's too much white, so I'm going to spread the heart out a little bit more. Yeah, just not sure. It didn't go as I wanted at all. So I've blown around a lot and I'm happier than I was, but I'm still not completely happy. So I'm going to add more paint, but I thought what I would do is just quickly show you close up first what I've got. So the effects are absolutely gorgeous. Really, really like them. But because it's a white base and a lot of the colour has sunk, I just think it's too pale. I just want brighter and bolder. So I think you may disagree with this, but what I think I'm going to do is where there's a bloom, like here, is just add a little bit more red and purple and a little bit more cell activator, just to try and get a little bit more colour, burst more colour. So really interestingly, the colour that you can see the most of at the moment probably is the gold and the orange, so the two iridescent colours. So I think I'm just going to go with the purple and the red because they're the colours I wanted to show up the most, but unfortunately they show the least. So let's try. So I'm just going to put a spot of paint just right in the centre of where the first bloom was, the red and then the purple and then the cell activator, tiny bit of that. Let's see what happens. Right, I am much happier now. there are positives and negatives. So let me start with the negatives. I can't see any blooms anymore. There was definitely no flower-like bloom shapes because it's all broken up, it's all blurred into one now. Another negative, I had the beautiful, beautiful lacing, but in a lot of places I've blown that out and broken it up in favour of getting more colour, because I've blown where the colour is, which has broken up a lot of the lacing. Other negative is I think the heart's a bit small. There's too much white space. The positives are I love it. I really, really like it. So it's not what I wanted. It's not what I intended. It is completely different to what I had in my mind. But actually the details and the interactions of all the paints are gorgeous, are so, so pretty. I love the shape, the heart shape itself. I'm really happy I've got that right. And I love the fact that it's a relatively straight edge, but lots of little indentations, which I love with my hearts. So my next question is this enough? The heart on its own, fine, but I've got a lot of negative space here. And I just feel that either the heart should be slightly bigger or I need to add something extra. So that's what I'm wondering at the moment. Again, I'm relatively happy now. Well, I really like this now. So if I add more, am I just going to wreck it? But if I don't do anything, am I going to be happy with it? Because I just feel that the heart is a bit lost. Right, it's quite a few minutes later and I've made my decision. I'm not finished. I think I'm also partly biased because I really love the painting and the process. So I'm going to do more. I'm going to add more and I'm going to enjoy it. And if it doesn't work, I've learned a lot anyway. So I figure because this is so detailed, whatever I do now has to be completely different. So I toyed with the idea of more blooms, but I think that would just be a bit distracting from the heart. It would detract from the heart. So my idea is I'm actually going to do some more lines of paint parallel to the edge of the heart, and then somehow I'm going to swipe outwards. So you've got some colour in these corners. I'm going to swipe with the cell activator and see what happens. With any luck, the colours will actually sink a little bit, so it matches this. If it doesn't sink, then there's a problem because it will just look too dark. But that is what I'm going to try. So here goes. It's finished. It's taken ages. I have swiped about 1,000,000 times, but I am really happy. I'm so glad I've added that extra. It almost feels like the feature of the painting now is the white negative space heart, which is really interesting. So let me take you in for a close-up. Let me show you this gorgeous lacing. It's just beautiful. Let's just focus. There we go. So I ended up then adding a few little spots of orange and gold and extra spots of purple, just to actually brighten it up a little bit, because the colours did sink as I wanted them to, so it was subtle, but then I just decided it was too subtle, so I've just added extra little bits, so all the way around, just some really, really pretty detail. So the heart itself, just look at the craziness of it. Really, really pretty. So as I said, the blooms are gone. They're definitely not blooms anymore. They're just little, I don't know what you want to call them now. It's just a very pretty pattern. So you've got little sections of lacing, but you can see where I've blown on the lacing, it's distorted it. So it's definitely not the typical bloom pour, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. The biggest lesson I have learnt with fluid art is to not try and have such a strong image of what you want your painting to look like. You have an idea of what you're going for, but be flexible and just go with the flow, because it 9.9 times out of 10, your end painting is not as you imagined it. And if I think you can approach paintings like that, knowing that it's likely to be different and you just have to go with it, then you'll be happy. So I'm actually incredibly happy with this. So I'll be back when it's dry. So here's the dry result. I'm so pleased with it. After so many changes in pouring this, I'm really happy with the result. Let me take you in for a close-up to show you all the details. This heart is just gorgeous. It's very sort of random and crazy and haphazard, but actually that's the way I do often like things. I quite like a lot of fuss and detail, and that's definitely what I've got there. Obviously, if a whole canvas was covered in this, it would look a bit odd, but because it's just such a lovely defined heart, I think it works so well. And then I am so pleased with these swipes. What I like the most is that it's really irregular at this edge. There is no straight line. It just it sort of goes from the white into the colour, and I just think it works. I'm really pleased. It's not too stark a line, too harsh a line. I think that's what I'm pleased with. And the cells created by that Australian floetrol as a cell activator are just absolutely gorgeous. So pleased. Really like the colours. I'm definitely going to do another pour with the same colours, but I want red blooms as the heart. So I will be back to do another one similar to this. Same colours, but it will be different. I am determined to get my red flowers in my heart. Great, thank you so much for watching, for taking the time to watch my video. Please hit the like button if you like it. Consider subscribing to my channel, that would be great. See you next time. Bye.